And good afternoon. Welcome to Lifelong Learners, and I am your talk show host, Terrence Perry. Thank you all for tuning in, viewing, and being present with us again today. And I do say us because I have I have a small group. Actually, it's a couple of us, but we always got producer Amnon, my right hand man, with me. Amnon, how you doing?
I'm fine, Terrence. How are you?
I'm getting geared up for the Christmas
I
holidays.
know you were the right color too.
Got to stay in red. I'm fired up for this. And I'm excited today just about the guests that we do have today. We have Job Corps in the house today. We have the Job Corps, um, how do I say your title? The Outreach Coordinator with Job Corps. That's Dorothy Veronica Sidbury. I did say that right.
You
Good.
said the full
Oh,
name.
okay, yeah, the full name. Since you say um, I don't say your name right. So did I get you right this time?
You got it right, Terrence.
All right, glad to have you.
Thank you for inviting me. We appreciate being on.
Okay, and we have Faith Charity in a little bit later in the show, also with Job Corps. So we're gonna, but I want to just start off, and before I get into our conversation, just let the audience know that they can feel free to call in if you have any questions, concerns, or if you just want to dialogue with us today. Call into the show at 919-518-9773. We would love to chat with you. So just going forward, um, Dorothy, would you just give us some idea of what Job Corps is all about?
Absolutely,
All right.
absolutely. So, Job Corps actually is a nationwide program geared towards 16 to 24-year-olds. It offers them a tuition free career and education training opportunity to live at one of our Job Corps centers, and we have over 120 nationwide, and give them the opportunity to work towards their career and education training. So it's been around for over 50 years, and so we're constantly, impacting the lives of young people across the country and the world. So we are definitely excited about what good things are happening in Job Corps and the many young people that we've enhanced and impacted over the years.
All right, and uh, that's Job Corps in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
And now your particular job, you are the outreach coordinator, and I'm gonna ask you what that means, but I'm gonna just take a wild guess and assume that means recruitment.
You're correct.
Outreach coordinator, recruitment related.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
So I work closely with all of our outreach and admissions counselors. So what we do is work to coordinate opportunities to establish relationships and linkages with referral agencies. So youth agencies, community agencies, diversity organizations, women-based organizations, and of course high schools and schools. We're looking to link those relationships so that they can become referral agencies for us, along with influencers like parents and grandparents and family members and relatives. So what I do is coordinate those opportunities and work closely with those different entities to outreach entities to get them involved and being able to make referrals to Job Corps.
okay, so I'm gonna ask you, now what does that mean in plain language? In plain language, in terms of recruitment, do you all go out to the schools, go out to the different locations in the community, schools, churches, colleges?
Yes.
What
So that's what it means, outreach. So we technically have to go out into the communities, and such as the high schools, as you mentioned, different community centers, faith-based organizations that includes churches and the like, and also different youth agencies that actually work
Okay.
directly with youth. And of course, with the schools, we work with the school counselors, dropout prevention counselors, social workers. So, I mean, it's a plethora of different organizations and community agencies that we're constantly working with. And even some of our local officials that have, a platform where they work and work towards helping youth in their communities. We want to be able to connect with all of them to be able to share Job Corps with them, because unfortunately everyone doesn't know about Job Corps. There's still quite a few people that are not familiar with Job Corps. So we have to do our due diligence to make sure we go out there into our communities and our different areas throughout the state of North Carolina and be able to communicate and educate the public on the fact that Job Corps is present and it's available to these young people between 16 and 24.
Okay. So why is the ages between 16 and 24 so critical when you say Job Corps? I mean, is that 16? I guess I won't say adult age, but it is the legal age. Well, from what my understanding is that if a child is still at home, and I'm gonna say a young adult, at the age of 16, they can be emancipated if they want to.
That is correct. So it wasn't until I started working for Job Corps that I learned that at 16 you can legally pretty much write yourself out or check yourself out of school on your own. So you can almost drop out of school on your own. And so of course the Department of Labor wanted to target that age group so that they know that there are other outlets and alternatives for them, if they're seriously wanting to complete their education, because we understand that a lot of young people, school may not be for every young person. So of course we want to make sure that, there are opportunities that they're familiar with that will help them to achieve their education or career choices and career endeavors. So that's why it's 16 to 17. A lot of people say, well, we would love to get that age to 18 on up, but as it stands, it's still 16 to 17-year-olds. Starting off is 16 to 17.
All right. And again, if anyone want to call in the show, we are live, and you can call in now and you can chat with Dorothy Sidbury. She's the outreach coordinator for Job Corps. Again, you can reach us at 919-518-9773. So Dorothy, in just talking about Job Corps in terms of the age group 16 to 24, we kind of got an idea on the 16-year-old side, but on the side of 24, now what's critical about, I guess, that age in terms of a person? Why is that the cutoff age for Job Corps? The 24-year-old, why not 25?
It would be nice if it was 25. We get that question quite a bit. We have a lot of folks that, inquire, can you expand or advance the age? But that's just a set age, 16 or 24, because at that point, young people are still kind of trying to find their way in life. And so 24 is a good solid age for them to kind of come to a conclusion. Okay, I think I know exactly what I want to do. I've made all these mistakes. I've made some adjustments. I had some setbacks. Now I think I want to focus in. And the thing about it is that you can go into Job Corps at 24, but you can stay until you're 26 because you can stay in the program for up to 2 years. So as long as you get into a Job Corps program or on a center before you turn 25, you can stay in there and take advantage of the program for the full 2 years if that's the time frame that you need.
Now, has that been that way all the time? And the reason I asked is because I should know that. I should know that. I worked with Job Corps. It's been at least almost 10 years ago. I was a career counselor at Job Corps for less than a year. But I had such a big caseload. I had almost 100 on my caseload, and they said I had never heard of it coming into the job. And when I got there, I was overwhelmed by such a caseload because I think at the time when I came in, I was CNA certified and trained, and a lot of the students that were coming in wanted to go into the CNA program, and that's a certified nursing assistant program. So I had more on my caseload than I wanted to deal with because I was new to that job. But I did know, it may have been because I stayed there less than a year, that you could come in at 24 and actually stay into 26. So that's something that I'm learning today, because I thought at 24, if you was there, you had to leave. if you came in at 23 or so forth, you had to leave by 24, but you can actually stay until you're 26 years old.
Yes,
So that's, you
especially
know,
if you need that extra time because the program is self-paced. So that means they're working at their own pace. So it's not a set lesson plan that they have to follow. It's more so based off of their efforts. And so that's why I say you can stay in there for up to 26. If you come in at 24, you can stay in there for up to up to the age of 26. However, you may not stay the whole period of time. It just depends on, how much time you need to complete your education, if that's something that you're pursuing, or to get your industry recognized certification. So it just depends on the student. So it's, based on a case by case situation.
let me ask you too now, what are some of well, the requirements for coming in the Job Corps, or once you're there? I know that it was where when a person came in, if they didn't have the driving license, they had to be working on getting a driving license. They had to work on getting certified in a particular trade, and they had to also be working on either getting their GED or a high school equivalent. Those were the three basic things that they had to do to stay in Job Corps and to prepare to leave. Is that the case?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's still the case. To get in, as far as the requirements, of course, they have to be between 16 and 24. They have to be willing to commit to the program because it is a voluntary program. So they have to want to participate in the program. And so that's why we make sure that we provide opportunities for them to learn about the program through our weekly presentations and also through videos and things of that nature to make sure that they are clear of their commitment to this program, because if they're committed to the program, we know that they're committed to themselves first and foremost. And so, of course, that's one of the requirements. And of course, they have to be free of all court obligations before they go to Job Corps, and they must be a legal resident, have the documentation to prove that they can work within the United States, within the country. So those are just the basic requirements to get into the program. And then we look at, on a case by case, whether or not they are ready. If they're Job Corps ready, then we are definitely willing to work with them to go ahead and get them enrolled. And yes, when they go to Job Corps, they're going to be working on their high school equivalency. They could be working on their high school diploma. Depends on how many high school credits they already have, because in some cases, if they have enough, they can go right into the high school diploma program. And then, of course, they're working on their trade. We call them career technical trainings that we offer at the various Job Corps centers. And then, of course, their driver's license, if they need the driver's license. They're also getting other credentials. And so there's a lot of different things that will prepare them to be self-sufficient once they finish the program and make that transition.
All right. Well, listen, you also brought Charity
Yeah.
Jones. I said Faith because Charity's name is Charity, and she's gonna tell me her name, Charity, Faith, and Hope. So I want her to come and talk with us a little bit, and then we're gonna bring you back on, Dorothy. So again, I want anyone that wants to call into the show today to do call in. We have a Job Corps representative. We have a Dorothy Sidbury as the outreach coordinator, and we also have Charity Jones. Charity, how you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, and I keep saying Charity, but I know your name has Charity, Faith, and Hope. So
Yes,
tell
it's
me,
Faith, Hope, and Charity.
Okay? I need to get it in the sequence. So say it again.
Faith, Hope, Charity,
Faith, Hope,
Jones.
and Charity Jones. Now I'm gonna just say Charity for the sake of the show, because I get tongue tied and tongue twisted with all that. But all of that is it is hope and faith. It's all spiritual. So you're a spiritual soul.
I am.
You're a spiritual soul with three names in that sequence. How did that come about?
My mom was just very spiritual, and I guess that's what happened. She decided to name me Faith, Hope, and Charity, so I just roll with it.
All right. So now you were a participant of Job Corps
I was.
at the age of 16 coming in, or what
No.
age?
I was one of the late ones. I was 22 when I went to Job Corps.
Okay. So, at 22, so you still, at that age, you can still stay into 24, or, So were you only able to stay those 2 years because you came in at at 22, or could you stay beyond that if you had wanted to?
I think I could stay only for the 2 years,
Okay.
or maybe to the. I don't know. I don't know how that went, but I know I was 23 when I left. Um, Job Corps changed my life. I mean,
So when you came into Job Corps, did you have to come in to complete those requirements in terms of the driving license, the to
um,
get certified on a trade?
no, I already
Oh,
had my driver's license.
yeah.
I was a high school dropout. I did come in to get my high school. Well, I came in originally to get my GED.
Okay.
Before I got the Job Corps, I was going from community college, trying to get my GED. I couldn't pass two of the tests, so I just became over it. So when I got the Job Corps, they offered me to get my high school diploma since I dropped out in the 11th grade. So that's what I did, and that was the best move I could have made in my whole entire life.
So let me ask you now. Now, how did you hear about Job Corps? Did they come to your school, or did you seek them out, or how did you
I heard it
and
on a
Job Corps?
commercial.
Okay, so tell me about the commercials because I used to see a lot of the commercials on for Job Corps. I don't see as many now, but I may not be looking. But tell me, so you saw the commercial and some clicked, and you said that's for me.
Actually, that's basically what happened. One day I was sitting down with my husband. He was my fiance at the time.
Okay.
And the commercial came on, and he was working, and everybody know that a two-income household is better than one. So I was like, maybe I just need to go. And he was like, if you want to go and do this, I support you 100%. And that's what happened. He supported me throughout the whole entire thing. I went, I completed, I graduated, and
So did you all have a long conversation about that, or was it a short
it was
conversation
very
to where
short.
you all just knew that was something that you wanted to do?
I
Um,
knew that was something I had to do. I was already 22. I had no structure in my life, no direction. I had to go.
okay. So let me ask you this: do you mind sharing with us what what um, what led up to you? I guess dropping out of school in your 11th grade year,
Yes.
and then dropping out, and then deciding, okay, I think I need to go back and finish. What was going on to
Um,
where you thought that was a good move, dropping out and then but going back?
I just didn't like traditional school, honestly. Like, I felt like I wasn't getting taught in public schools, and I just didn't like it, so I dropped out. And
So in deciding to go back, you saw the commercial Job Corps. You only needed that because if you dropped out in 11th grade, then that senior year, all you needed was a few courses to complete, and so you went to Job Corps. You got that done. Let me ask you this also: um, did you decide on did you decide on the trade that you wanted to take once you got there, or you kind of knew what you wanted to go into um,
I
before you got there?
decided to do CNA. I didn't want to do CNA, but that's what they offered, and I knew I wanted to be in the medical field some way somehow. So that's what I took.
Was I there at the time?
No, you
Because I
wasn't.
ran that, okay, the CNA program when, like I said, I had a hundred students. So if you came through during that time, I may not would have remembered you. I had so many, I was overwhelmed. CNAs, that was one of the biggest classes that uh, that I remember that came through with all the other things that they could have took. But it was a lot of women that came in to become, a certified nurses assistants and to move on to becoming, nurses or working toward that. So I commend you because now even with that the CNA certification, that's a rigorous certification process and procedure that you have to go through. And I know that it was not handed to you. And then again, if I'm correct in remembering, we actually had to take the CNA participants to different sites to get hands-on training. Was that something that you had to do while
I
you were there? Did you have to
did.
do the hands-on training?
I did. I went to a local nursing home,
Okay.
and I think we did it. I think we did it for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks at the most. It was it was a it was a struggle at first, but I passed it. Um, I went on and went to go get certified Job Corps. Did pay for that. My first try I didn't pass my test, but they paid for me to try again. So the second time I did pass, and I became certified. And
So yeah, I know that is.
yes,
I know it is it's either 40 or 80 hour, like I said, the program as far as just getting certified in that, and then going to do the hands-on part of it at the different facilities that you do CNA work at. So, and you all would be there from morning until
about 2:30.
yeah, about 2:30 in the evening. So that was like a full day of work. But let me ask you this now. Also, you you say you are a devoted devoted daughter, loving wife, and a caring mother. Tell me about the three of those, and each one at a time. But let's start with your devoted daughter.
Recently, my mom died in 2013. I come from a two-parent household. My dad my dad adored my mom, and when she passed, he was kind of lost. So my husband received a job offer in Greensboro, so we moved up there, and I couldn't picture leaving my dad behind. So I moved him with me. He's elderly, I mean, I take care of my dad, and he's grateful for it. I can't see myself putting him in a home or anything. I'm a loving wife because I support my husband throughout anything he needs to do, whatever he want to do in his life, whatever career he want to choose. If he want to choose over and over again, I support him, and he does the same for me as well.
Okay.
I have two stepdaughters. They are amazing. They are the light of my life almost. I love them so much. I love the young ladies they are becoming, and I'm just grateful for everything that's happened throughout my life recently. So
All right. So are you looking forward to the Christmas holidays?
We
and
are.
the family. Having all family together, and I also know. I think I was actually on your Facebook page several days ago, maybe on Sunday, and I saw where you had posted you were serving turkey wings and with cream chicken, collard greens, and smoked turkey necks,
Yes.
and so you you have a gift for cooking.
Yes,
Sound
I
like
do.
I was reading that. I was like, man, I'm getting hungry just yeah, just thinking about that's a delicacy, that type of meal. So did you serve that meal Sunday?
I did. It was a request courtesy of my husband, so he gets it. So
So you didn't even wait till Christmas. So if you had that kind of meal this past Sunday, I can only imagine what kind of dish you're gonna serve up during the Christmas holidays. But so tell me about your cooking skills. Is that some that I want to say like you have to cook because you have family, but like a hobby. I mean everybody can't cook. I can't cook. I love to eat, but I can't cook. I can get by, but you sound like you got it down packed to an art.
well, it's a hobby. I love cooking for my family. I love putting love in the food. I feel like the only way food will be good if you put your love in it. And I love cooking for my family. I love taking care of them. I love catering to them, and I just love it. I love my family.
Your
Oh,
mom used to cook.
She did.
See, that's,
And I also heard that. I mean, and I also know that you also fixed a what was this chocolate yellow cake?
Yes.
Have I heard of a chocolate yellow cake
The
before?
cake is yellow and it's chocolate frosting, so it's a basic cake, but it's yellow cake. and chocolate frosting.
So how did they receive it? Um, how did they receive that kind of meal?
Oh, they was grateful.
I'm sure.
Was
So what have you
grateful.
got planned for them for the Christmas? Do you mind sharing?
Um,
Uh,
Nothing much. Probably go visit family. We are from
no,
Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Rocky Mountain.
So we'll probably go visit my in-laws, and that's about it. Probably come back home and enjoy each other's company.
So let me ask you this: how how would your husband describe you? How would your children describe you? Uh, and well, how do you think your father would describe you?
I think they would describe me as motivated. I don't determined. Um, Loving, caring,
Okay.
and
So all of them would describe you in those terms.
yes.
Uh, so how would you describe you?
I'm
So,
motivated. I'm determined.
the same.
Basically,
You-
um, um, sensitive at times. Um, I care about the entire world, so I'm more like I don't know, free spirit, I guess. Um, I want to inspire people. I want to motivate people, encourage people, and it's just me.
so anyone out there that would, who do you think could utilize Job Corps, and um, what would you say to the listening audience, anyone that's out there, how Job Corps could change their life if they needed a situation to elevate themselves? Could they how could Job Corps change change their life?
Um, they could change their life. I mean, you got to be motivated and you got to want to do it. You got to know what you want to do and, and just go through with it and stay focused. Just do it.
Just do it like
Just do
Nike,
it.
huh? Just do it. It is. I mean, it sounded like it was an awesome opportunity for you.
It was.
And like you said, you saw that commercial on TV. You and your husband talked about it and said, "Let's do it," and you did it, and you got through it, completed the process, and you know, um, so those goals were met. Let me ask you, how was the Job Corps staff there in assisting you? Um,
Amazing, amazing, everyone, amazing. Whatever I needed, if I needed anything, they were there for me no matter what. They helped me. If I needed help, if I struggled with anything, I could always depend on the staff. Um, it was just amazing. Like, we were like family. I still be trying to go visit them, even though I can't. um, I usually meet them at the gate. Sometimes I call them and tell them to meet me at the gate so I can see them. But they're amazing. They're like family to me.
I heard it. All right, well, Charlie, listen, I appreciate you sharing that with us, and you're gonna stay around for a little bit, a
I
little bit
will.
longer. Okay,
I
so
will.
um, if you want to just hang out with us, and I got a couple other questions I want to ask you a little bit later in the segment, but I want to come back to talk with Dorothy again, the outreach coordinator, and just I just want her to kind of rehash what Job Corps is really all about, and how Job Corps can assist a young person in changing their lives if they're looking for a change, going into 2017. Going into 2017, with this would be a good opportunity and a good time if you're looking for a change and need to make that change. Coming to Job Corps, if you need that, this would be a good time and place to do it. Dorothy, could you just share with the listening audience um, again what Job Corps offers and just how it can be beneficial to anyone that a family member might recommend, or anyone that may see the commercials, of what you all offer, how to seize that opportunity going into 2017. What you what could you say to a young person to kind of inspire and get them motivated to go ahead on and take that leap of faith, and and change their life?
Well, going into 2017, like I said, we've been around for several years, and Faith, or Charity as you called her, she is a prime example of the success that Job Corps has constantly experienced and it has seen over the years. And so, with young people, a lot of times you think there is no outlet for you to redeem yourself, to get your life in order, or to get you together. Then you have an opportunity right through Job Corps to be able to focus. And this is a program that I love to uh, encourage young people to get involved in because it's residential. So it gives them an opportunity to get away from their distractions, get away from the different things that may interfere with them actually achieving and goals and achieving their desires. And so I always say to young people, take advantage of it. Start free and work your way up. So this gives them an opportunity to kind of balance their lives in an environment that is supportive. And as Charity mentioned, the staff are always in place to provide you with all the care and support that you need to help you get on the right path. And so when you say tuition free, this is tuition free. This gives you an opportunity to be able to do what it is that you want to do in your life and not have to worry about the distractions or worry about any other issues that may come about. You have an opportunity to just be in a free environment, to be able to focus in on and zone in on your goals and aspirations in life. And so that's why I always encourage young people to take advantage of it. This is an alternative program. This is a great program. It's a career and education training program, and it is designed for young people to excel. So that's why I would say going into the new year, some young people have already graduated in some cases, and Job Corps is also like a college alternative. So for those that have graduated from high school and they're just kind of in limbo and not sure what it is that they want to do with their lives, then of course Job Corps can be a support system and kind of help you and guide you in the direction that you need to go.
Okay, so just to back up a little bit,
Okay.
just back up a little bit and talk about you said the Job Corps is tuition free.
Tuition free.
So what are the I guess eligibility requirements again to apply and get into Job Corps? And then you said it's like a college campus. You can actually live on campus and focus on your studies. But what are the eligibility requirements to get on that campus and to to reach those goals?
Well, the main requirements, again, 16 to 24, must be a legal resident. I would say definitely be free of all court obligations, so there you won't have any distractions that would take you off center. And then, of course, you have to be willing to commit to the program because it's a program that is voluntary. So you have to definitely make sure that you're committed to the program. And I always say if you're committed to yourself, you're going to be committed to the program because you know what the end result will be once you finish the program. So those are the basic requirements, as long as you're willing to commit and put in the work, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you are ready to go to work, because those are the three options once you graduate is you either go into employment, military, or college. Those are the only three options. So we make sure that we prepare a career development plan for you to make sure you stay on target for reaching those goals and having somewhere to go once you leave and transition from the Job Corps program.
Okay. Now you touched on something there when you said the career development plans, and I know from just thinking back about working at Job Corps, we did have to put those career development plans in place, but also we had to have not just the plan, but the discharge plan as well. In other words, like you said, when they are leaving Job Corps, they have to have met those requirements of the certified trade, high school diploma, or GED, driving license, and then they had the opportunity to go on to college. And I know Job Corps at one point, and I don't know if they still do, would fund that a part of that college tuition for a community college. Is that still a piece of what they do if someone want to leave Job Corps going into college?
We provide now. One of the things with the college program is a lot of our Job Corps centers have a partnership with the local community college.
Okay.
So a lot of times the students can take advantage of the college program off center. So they're still a student employee in Job Corps, but they're actually taking advantage of college courses or taking college courses through the community college. So they can earn up to an associate's degree while still enrolled into Job Corps. And then after they graduate, if they decide, well, I don't want to go to college, while I'm in Job Corps, but I definitely want to do it as, my post-secondary transition move, then of course they can, go into the community college, but they have to, of course, go by the FAFSA, completing the FAFSA application, that process. So as long as they qualify for Job Corps, more than likely they'll, qualify for scholarships and different grants to be able to go on to college, wherever they choose, whether it's community college or a university.
Okay. And that doesn't have to be paid back. Either that's a given to those that want to excel and go.
If they're
and go
in
on.
if they're in Job Corps, then usually they will qualify, for the community college. But once
Okay.
they leave the program, if they're given a FAFSA application or given a FAFSA reward, then of course, if there's anything as far as loans or anything that are given in that award, then they're responsible for that. But once they're in Job Corps, usually all those are taken care of, those expenses.
Okay. So now let me ask you, Jess, what made you passionate about Job Corps when you looked at the opportunity to work at Job Corps, but even and I'm sure that you had heard about it before you actually worked at Job Corps. But what was it about Job Corps itself, and what is it about you that inspires you to be passionate about Job Corps?
Great question. Great question. So it's funny how I came across Job Corps. Actually, I'm a Shaw graduate, Shaw University. I got to make sure I put that shout out there. And I am an English education major. So, of course, I started in the classroom and I didn't like being confined to a classroom. So, of course, I had an opportunity to go on a temporary job site, which I was informed was for senior citizens. And so, of course, I'm like, wow, I can work with senior citizens, not a problem. I have a great rapport with senior citizens. But when I arrived at the site, it had nothing to do with senior citizens. It only had something to do with Job Corps. And I'm like, wow, never heard of this program called Job Corps. So, of course, I was, intrigued about wanting to know, what is this Job Corps program all about? And so they were in a process of transitioning, because at the time, the outreach and admissions component of Job Corps, because there are three different components: the outreach and admissions, the center training, along with the career and transition services, which are, the individuals that work with the young people once they graduate from the program. And so that component of admissions was actually being transitioned from the state operating that particular area to a private contractor operating the area. So they were in transition. So once they got settled in, I was able to kind of get a more understanding of what this Job Corps program was all about. And I said, this is working with young people. Love it. It's right up my alley. So, of course, I said, this is really great. And the fact that it was tuition free and it was working with young people who, may not have had the best, start in life or, making that transition and trying to find themselves. This was an absolutely great program. And when I found out that, the program had over 120 Job Corps centers nationwide, and it had one in my town, in my city, which I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and had no idea that they had one right there in the core, in the heart of Detroit. That was like, wow, mind boggling. So I was like, I went to school and Job Corps has been around for 50 years. I'm not quite 50. So of course I was saying, wow, never heard of Job Corps. So I was very intrigued with what the Job Corps program had to offer the young people, and everything that was available to them. And I thought, well, this is definitely something I definitely want to continue to stick with.
Oh man! So did you go back to Michigan to check out the Job Corps there, or I know the one in North Carolina is probably what 40, 50 miles from Shaw.
Yes.
From
yes.
Raleigh to
Yes.
To Kittrell, Henderson area.
Mm-hmm.
But did you go back to Michigan to check out the Job Corps there?
It's so funny. I've been meaning to go to the center. I still have not yet made it to the Job Corps Center in Detroit, but I have, made attempts to get there. But I will eventually get an opportunity to visit the Job Corps Center in Detroit. But we actually have 4 Job Corps centers here in North Carolina that I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of. We do have one that's about the 30 to 45 minutes that you mentioned. It's actually located in Kittrell. North Carolina. And then we have 3 that are located in the mountains near Asheville in Franklin, Pisgah Forest, and Cherokee.
So, by you doing outreach, do you get to go to all 4
Yes, I do get to
in
go.
North Carolina? I mean,
Yes.
is that part of the job requirement to go to all of the job corps in the North Carolina area, or you just like going to the different ones, hanging
Well,
out,
I
hanging out?
enjoy going to all the different Job Corps centers. It's not necessarily mandatory to go
Mhm.
to each one, but yes, we do have those relationships with those centers. So on occasion, we do travel to those centers to, work out different things that might need to be worked out with the admissions, with the center, with the students. So we're always in constant communication. And so we do get to visit the centers quite a bit.
Now, all the centers, I guess, around about the same size, or are do they vary a lot in the size and the amount of students that's on the campus?
Nationwide, they do vary in the population, student population. In North Carolina, you're going to have students that are under 3, centers that have under 300 students. I think Kittrell is probably the largest center in North Carolina, but then we also have those other 3 centers that might be under 2, a little over 2. So those are the training centers here in North Carolina. But nationwide, we have centers that take in maybe 800, 1,800, like a mini college. So there are other centers that offer more students to participate in the program because of the number of availability and slots that they have available for young people.
So, Job Corps. Let me be the devil's advocate, and let me ask a little bit about the downside of Job Corps. By me, again, having worked at Job Corps, there was a lot of pluses. Um, I enjoy just the fact that being able to just go and play ball with the guys in the evenings after school and after classes. But also there was a downside because Job Corps also has sometimes there are things that students does, and then they have to be dismissed from Job Corps early, and not having an opportunity to complete the program. So what are some of the things that would cause them to have to leave Job Corps early, and just things that they may need to be aware of if you're coming to the campus to be a part of Job Corps? What are some of the things that can get you kicked out of Job Corps, and you know that would end your opportunity to complete the program?
Like with any job, we're preparing young people for a career. So like with any job, if you violate any of the policies of any kind, then of course you're terminated. So we treat our student employees the same way. So with that being said, young people in a lot of cases, as much as we can tell them up front, these are the policies, these are the rules. Young people, sometimes they're going to make up their own mind and do what they want to do in a lot of cases, and so they learn through trial and error in a lot of cases. So we have a zero tolerance policy in place to help these young people kind of stay on target. Now if they violate the zero tolerance policy for violence and drugs, then of course they may be terminated from the Job Corps, unfortunately. And so we try to make sure that we give as much information up front so they'll actually know what we expect from them and what they should expect from us, because we're definitely going to make sure that we enforce those policies, because those policies are important. It's pretty much preparing them. It's really helping them to prepare themselves for when they actually go into the workforce. So those are not any strange or odd policies that we have in place. It's just that that's what they are, zero tolerance policies, and that's something that we will hold them accountable for, and they will in some cases unfortunately get themselves in a position where they could be terminated. And that's unfortunate, but they do have a year to reapply if they left on good terms, in terms of whether or not it was a minor offense or if it was a major offense. Sometimes they're not able to come back, but after a year they can consider coming back, and we will look at all of the variables to determine whether or not we would like to recommend them back to Job Corps.
And also, I think in saying they have a certain time frame to complete the requirements of the learning the trade and getting certified, getting the driving license, and also getting their either GED or high school diploma. There's a certain time frame that they have to get that done in, or they may be asked to leave also.
Well, now if they go beyond the 2 years, okay, you have a span of 2 years. That's available to anyone that's between 16 and 24. You have that full 2 years. You need that extra time, you have that time. Anything beyond 2 years, then you're almost maximizing your benefits through the program. So after 2 years, we have to, in a lot of cases, release you or separate you from the Job Corps program. But most, on average, students finish within a year.
And now, if they went beyond the 2 years and then finish, would they be able to come back if they're not past the age of 24? Would they be able to come back and finish after a year or so, or would they salvage all that if they didn't do it within that time frame?
Well, it depends within 2 years. If say, for example, they went for, 6 months, then if they want to come back, they can come back as long as they do not exhaust the full 720 days. So you have 365,
Okay.
you have the days. We look at their days and determine if they are, if he has enough time or she has enough time to come back based off the days that they were actually on center. So it just depends on the number of days and if it equals out to 720 days or more.
And there's nothing to do with the age at the time of the
No, it
comeback?
has. Well, now they still have to be between 16 and 24. They still have to be between 16 and 24 to come back a second time. But they can't go. We can't change the age requirements.
Okay. Now, what I do understand is that 80% of the participants on Job Corps campus do complete the program. They do complete it and they go on to either college, they go to work, or they go in the military. That 80% ratio, is that North Carolina wide, or is that nationwide with all the Job Corps?
It's
80% of the people that participate do finish. And they go on to either work, college, or the military.
Right. So it's you're absolutely right. And that's a nationwide standard now. Is that young people that finish the program, 80+% or more. We're looking closer to maybe past the mid 80s, where they are actually going into employment, military, or higher education, some form of education. So that is definitely where we are as far as how we work. This Job Corps works. 80+% is not bad at all for a lot of these young people who go into the program and take advantage of it. Right. We have a great career transition staff here in North Carolina that works very diligently with the students to make sure that they help them to transition into something that will benefit them, in their next phase in life. So we have a really good team here, and nationwide we're working very hard to make sure we put students in situations that will benefit them post Job Corps.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Now, who would you recommend for, not necessarily as a participant of Job Corps, but as someone, employees of Job Corps, what would it take to become an employee with Job Corps, and what are some of the, the employee titles? I know the career counselor, I know that there are the, and I can't think of the name of the staff that worked in the dorms, but what would it take to become an employee with Job Corps?
It just varies because, as I mentioned, we have 3 components of Job Corps. So we have the outreach and admissions component, which is operated by a private contractor, and then we have a center training. The middle part of the program is the center training that goes on, and that's operated either by the U.S. Forest Service or another private contractor. And then we have that third component, which is the career transition services. So anyone that's interested in working with Job Corps, they can actually, consider looking at private contractors, actually calling our office, even going on the website and finding out, the numbers to the various Job Corps centers that they can contact within their area, or even the agency that's operating the outreach and admissions and the career transition services. So, you can have a degree in some cases, there are some degree programs and opportunities available, but then there are some where you don't necessarily need a degree of any kind. You just need to have some experience and a passion for working with young people. And that could be a independent living advisor that works in the dorms, or just working in security, or even, working in facilities, or even being an instructor. We're always looking for great instructors. We're always looking for good individuals that are sincere about, working with these young people and have a passion for working with young people in all those different arenas that I just mentioned.
So let's mention them just again. You say you got security officers, you got dorm directors and
Right, advisors.
Advisors. You also have I know they got the cafeteria on
Yes,
campus, so you
yes,
got
yes,
food service.
yes.
You also have the career counselors, and you also have. I know when I was working with the CNA program, there were nurses that contracted. They came in to teach part of that curriculum.
Right.
They had the brick masonry, carpentry, auto mechanics. So they had to have those instructors
That's correct.
in place and assistants. So those jobs, you can just go online and apply.
Yes, yes. If there are any vacancies, you can pretty much go online. You can maybe identify a Job Corps center and find out, a number or find out where you can get that information. It's not always posted on the websites, but you can actually go to Indeed.com or any other job search engines to actually find out what opportunities are available in your area.
All right. All right. So before we wrap up, I do want to just give you an opportunity to let people know how they can, if they're trying to become a participant, student with Job Corps, how they would need to apply, or either is there a number that they could call? Is there a 1-800 number to call Job Corps to follow up, to become a participant, a student in Job Corps, and how would you get in touch with yourself through social media? Job Corps, are they on Facebook, LinkedIn? What type of social media avenues can people search to find Job Corps?
Yes, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
to actually enroll into Job Corps, remember Job Corps is open entry, so you can apply at any time. And so there are a couple of ways that you can reach out to us if you're interested in Job Corps, especially if you're in the state of North Carolina. You can call our main office and contact our main office to find out the nearest admissions office or admissions counselor in your area by calling 919-954-0691. Or you can call our national number, which is 1-800-733-JOBS. That's 1-800-733-5627. Or simply go online at www.recruiting.jobcorps.gov and be able to complete a profile to initiate your application. And we actually have staff available and ready to assist you within 48 hours to provide you with the next steps and how to enroll into Job Corps. And you can follow us on social media. We actually have official Job Corps social media pages on Facebook, DOL Job Corps, and we also have an Instagram account, which is DOL Job Corps. And then you can also follow our state operated social media sites, which is Twitter, and it's North Carolina OACTS. And then, of course, Facebook, we have North Carolina OACTS.
Okay. All right. Well, Dorothy, listen, I appreciate you coming on and sharing with the public today about Job Corps, any misconceptions that anyone may have, either people that may not have known about Job Corps, now that they do know that Job Corps is here and is in, it's 4 Job Corps in the state of North Carolina, and it's 27 Job Corps, United States. Is it nationwide?
Over 120 nationwide.
Over 120 nationwide.
Yes, sir.
Job Corps. It is 4 here in North Carolina.
Yes, that's correct.
You can be between the age of 16 to 24 to enter Job Corps. Now, do you have to have you can't have anything, you can't have any pending charges or anything like that?
We encourage you not to have any pending charges because we want you to have a free and clean slate. Okay. So we encourage you to make sure you take care of all of your court obligations before you actually apply to Job Corps. And again, it's a case-by-case situation. If you have any blemishes on your record, it's a case-by-case situation. The admissions counsel will be able to dissect and determine what would be the best route and plan for you.
All right. Well, again, I want to, Amnon, you have a...
I was just reading her card, and in little fine print, it says operated by Women Empowerment Network. And I just want to make sure this is not limited to females, right?
No, it's not limited to females. It's for males and females. Women Empowered Network is actually the private contractor that I mentioned that operates Job Corps' outreach and admissions and the career transition placement services for the Office of Job Corps. So that's the private contractor that I work for, but we actually, work with Job Corps. So we're partners with Job Corps, the DOL Job Corps program.
All right. So again, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Charity, both of you all for coming on today, sharing with me. Feel free to come back in the new year, and let's put that out there again, because I think it's very beneficial to anyone that wants to complete and learn a trade. They want to complete their either high school diploma, GED equivalent. You can get that done at Job Corps, learn the trade at the same time. And you also said if you're in Job Corps and want to go to community college for a couple of years, they also, that whole package is pretty much free.
That's available. That is available.
It is available.
It depends on their FAFSA application. So for the most part, if they qualify for Job Corps, they're going to qualify for the community college. There may be, it just depends, because with the FAFSA application, if you're under a certain age, your parents, they look at your parents' income. So it just depends on whether or not you'll, be able to get into the community college for free. If there's any fees there, you may have to accrue those fees or take care of those fees as a result of your application, but it just depends. But if you qualify for Job Corps, more than likely you're good to go.
All right. Well,
is there anything? I mean, if somebody's out there listening, is there any kind of? I mean, if you're a felon, do you write yourself off, or is it still case by case?
It's still a case by case. As long as we can get them to work, and they're willing to work, we do have to look at their background to kind of determine if is there a pattern. Will they be able to get employed, based off of their record? So it just depends on how, old the charges are. So it is a case by case.
Don't be discouraged.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
all right. Well, listen, we want to thank you all for coming on. We want to, we're going to move into the holiday spirit. I hope you all have I know you're going to have a lovely and pleasant holiday, particularly with the cooking that Charity got planned. If it's anything like she did this past Sunday, then I know her family's gonna have an awesome meal for the Christmas. So again, just thank you all and the listeners for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every Tuesday. We'll be back again next Tuesday. We have another amazing story in store for you. So come back and join us. I want to thank you all and have a blessed and wonderful holiday.
Thank you.
You're tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.com.